I'll do this in pieces. Another response to warbles. Yeah. Alright, so I'll do it in 2-minute hunks and then comment. So I'll really try to restrain myself. So he starts off now, he's getting into the whole truther thing. He really is just a truther nut. So he thinks all the car manufacturers, all the engineers on Earth, none of them ever design a car and try to find efficiencies. Even though there's huge incentives, gigantic financial incentives in America for every mile per gallon they can squeeze out of a car. No, they just don't consider the big picture. Every guy is just looking at one bolt. He's in charge of bolt A, and that's all he knows. And he can't think about anything else, and he has no imagination, no anything. I'll concede that they should be able to make a better car. I'll concede that I think I could design a better car. But to say that they hasn't occurred to them, okay, to use solar energy to recharge batteries, I think they've looked at it and they just said, can't get enough out of it. So for all the assholes, who really don't understand shit, a solar panel, a 30-watt solar panel, in the sun all day, facing the sun, that is angled at the sun even, in all day would create enough energy to run the air conditioner on your car for less than 5 minutes. Alright? So understand how small amount of energy it is we're talking about here. He's saying he's saving percentages, of miles per gallon on the amount of energy that, like I said, can't run your air conditioner for more than 5 minutes. So this is just bullshit. Alright, so now he's talking again, these numbers. 35% of the battery is discharged. Talks about Honda and fuel efficiency and people suing Honda because they didn't get the fuel efficiency because they didn't put their car in a trickle charger or some other kind of bullshit. And yeah, that's sort of the question. The big $5 million question is, okay, the game is keep your battery charged. But even if your battery is charged, you can look at your ammeter on your car and you'll see that it's always going to be running at 16 volts or some other number, 14 or 16, because that regulator keeps going to, it's because you're going to be using accessories in the car, and the alternator is going to say, we need more juice because you're running accessories. It's just not a very sophisticated system, and so yeah, there should be another way to generate power. Okay, so that's really the game here. Is the alternator is an inefficient way to generate power, and we should generate power some other way. You're better off putting drag on your, even wind drag. Put a turbine inside the front grille or something, the air intake, a little fan or something. Some other way to create a system that uses drag, and then you can use the drag when you're going downhill or when you're braking or some other time. You can even put it on your brakes, a little switch on your brakes. So when you step on the brake pedal, the first step you do, the first thing that happens is the drag fan goes on. Okay, and that charges your battery. And then as you press harder, then your front brakes go on, and then you press all the way down, your rear brakes go on. Yeah, I think that would make more sense. But again, we're talking about a small amount of electricity that makes a big difference in the sense that this is sort of a crude system, and it runs harder than it needs to for the amount of juice it needs to compensate for. But again, your numbers don't add up. All right, you can't say the alternator is creating a 1 horsepower drag on the system, and then the next breath say somehow it's still not charging the battery. That sounds like bullshit to me.
So they might get to build another one. At some stage, when enough YouTubers...
Oh, okay, sorry, I'm supposed to listen to it myself. But anyway, I'm not harassing you, idiot. Okay, I made a comment on your damn video, and then you felt the need, okay, to make a video in response to my comment, and started this fucking fight over this shit. Alright, so that was your choice, shithead. Not my choice, your choice. Jeez, I just explained why I can't be terribly supportive of this idea of yours. That's all. That's all the comment was. Polite comment explaining why I can't be terribly supportive. Because I think there's a better way to do it. Or I think this is the inefficient way to do it. The less efficient way to do it. Yeah. Alright, so in this part he's showing me letters he's sent to his member of parliament and to the local university, but apparently they don't have any science department, so they can't look into it, and blah blah blah. But yeah, I can do plenty of Google searches on all kinds of high efficiency solar panel transportation. Australia is famous for it. I mean, it's all over Australia. There's people in little bicycle cars and shit, you know, with solar panels and wheel pedals and, you know, trying to get the most miles per, you know, the most distance. They even have, like, I think an airplane, you know, it doesn't fly very high, but I mean, it flies off the ground, solar panels and man-powered airplane. So, yeah. So don't tell me there's nobody with any interest. Don't tell me there's no university that would look into it, all this other kind of stuff. It's still, the bottom line is you're talking about 30 watts on a vehicle that throws away 30 watts of power all over the place. It's leaking gigawatts all over the place. So this whole idea that you can solve a problem with 30 watts of electricity, okay, is silly. All you need to do is change the way the alternator functions, and use this, like I said, if you just boosted it, had another battery at home, boosted its power, and then just transferred the power from one battery to the other battery every day, it would do the same thing without putting it on the car. So this is just bullshit.
And Tony Windsor scored a letter from Senator the Honourable Tim Carr, Minister for Innovation, Industry, Science and Research, explaining to him that the CSIRO had looked at it for 5 months after sitting on it for the first 2 months. So 7 months.
Whoops, sorry, I wasn't supposed to be doing that. Alright, so let's listen to this part, because this is the critical part here. This is important.
Energy to keep the car's battery as fully charged as possible, so that the alternator will not have to generate as much electricity and therefore will not drain as much energy from the engine.
Right, so let's understand. The alternator in 1 minute generates more electricity, okay, than the solar panel produces in 2 hours. Right? This is the economics of this thing. Alright, so it's not about generating the electricity. It's about when you generate the electricity and how you generate the electricity. But the minor amount of electricity that the solar panel is contributing is just that, a minor, tiny amount of electricity compared to what an alternator is producing in just 2 or 3 minutes of running time. So this whole thing it's just a silly argument. Like I said, I had a little generator on my bicycle when I was a kid, okay? And as soon as I hit 30 miles an hour, I was generating at least 20 watts. I mean, I'm going to read the comments on one of my videos because some putz is arguing with me. And it's just nonsense. It's just bullshit. A little tiny generator. Little tiny one. I mean, it wasn't that tiny. It was good. I mean, you know, it was a nice little generator. I mean, permanent magnet generator. It was a good little generator. But the point is that, yeah, humans can... You can produce electricity. It just... And an alternator produces a giant amount of electricity. Horsepower, that's why it's using, I mean, you can't claim it's dragging, it's pulling all this energy off the engine, and at the same time you're claiming it's not producing any electricity, because you're claiming your solar panel is making some sort of significant contribution, when in 1 minute, you know, the alternator is producing more than the solar panel is producing in an hour. Shit. Alright, so he just keeps reading this crap. You know, like somehow this letter has something to do with my critique, which was not that it wouldn't be good to find some way to fool alternators, regulators, into thinking the battery's charged. Yeah. You know, because that's all this is about, really. Yeah, yes, it's better to to get the full potential out of a solar panel. If you're going to have a solar panel, you're going to pay to manufacture one. You're going to put it in some sort of installation. You might as well get all you can out of it in terms of the energy you get. So you might as well have it facing the sun. Might as well have it facing the right direction so it gets its maximum amount of watts are produced by it in its lifetime. That would be the sensible thing to do. And you're going to do that by having it in a stationary location, have it recharge a battery, and then use that battery to recharge your car. There. The end. And as I pointed out, if you had a switch on your alternator where you could turn the alternator off, or even if we could regulate them down and just regulate their output, so we could knock it down a few hundred watts. Yeah. I just see that as that would be the win. Because then when you're 3 miles from home, you got a pretty good charge in the battery. You could just crank it off and then let your solar panel take care of the rest.
Picture of the Sunfoil device. In general, CSIRO is not equipped to evaluate inventions, and in particular, CSIRO, like the University of New England, does not have facilities that could test Mr. Wharton's claims. Contact Sue Brown. So, I contacted Sue Brown, and she told me that not only did they not have...
Oh, whatever. Yeah, I'll get back to this shit. Oh, now he's going through all this patent crap. There's some, that's somehow why it doesn't exist, is because nobody can patent it. Right. Like, nobody's going to make aspirin because nobody can patent it. Now, plenty of people make aspirin. Everybody makes aspirin. Everybody wants to sell you aspirin. Every car maker would love to put this on their cars if it actually increased fuel efficiency. The big win for them. Big win. It means they can sell more giant SUVs. Okay? Because right now, they can't. Okay? Right now, they're limited in how many big, fat, juicy, hunky cars they can sell for big bucks based on what their overall fuel efficiencies is. And that's the way the law is. And so, if you're going to read law, why don't you read that law and explain to me why, if there's this real easy, non-patented, they don't have to pay anybody to get this technology, they don't have to do any of that shit, they can just do it, they don't just do it. And to say it's because they're too stupid, come on. I mean, really, all the car engineers are too stupid. Well, they're all stupid. I mean, just even talking about this whole idea of having some sort of mechanical brake that doesn't generate heat, but uses the energy of the car in a positive way to generate electricity seems infinitely intelligent. I mean, that should be already done now. That should already be on every car right now. There should be a generator on every car right now used to generate electricity to create drag when braking, especially when doing the low gear thing. No, we shouldn't have a low gear. We should have a high drag and generate electricity when we go down super steep hills. Yeah, that one just seems like a big win. All right, so you can do your solar panel thing. Maybe what I'll do is write some letters about having drag brakes, instead of heat brakes, and having electrical brakes. Let's come up with a word for it. Electro brakes, or whatever. Something energy brake or something to indicate how it gives you electricity. Electro brakes, electrono brake, some sort of catchphrase for it. Yeah, because that's it. That's the win. That's the win. Fuck alternators. Put on an electric drag brake.
Mr. Wharton has provided significant detail on the technology, but the documents are not...
Alright, this is sort of the good part, because now we're going to hear why his documentation hasn't been accepted by these people. And the problem is because, your documentation doesn't demonstrate clearly, like, here's with, here's without, here's with, here's without, here's with, here's without. That's what you need.
I sent photocopies of the lab notes. That wasn't good enough either, and photocopies of typewritten reports is also not good enough. My paper's not shiny enough, Gary, therefore the idea can't be any good. It might disturb them, you know. My bricks don't fit their moulds.
Yeah, again, no, like I said, if you can come up with some real hard evidence, and that, like I said, that does take a little bit of work. And, I don't know, I haven't thought about it, how it best can be proved, but yeah, maybe you need to turn the thing on for a week and turn the thing off for a week. What's your fuel efficiency? What's your miles per gallon the week with it on, and then your miles per gallon the week with it off, and then have a week with it on. What's your miles per gallon, a week with it on, week with it off. Do that for a couple of months, and that should give you a real number. And then you can just say, look, instead of doing your 20 to 30% thing, you can say, look, I get 17 miles to a gallon, okay, when the thing's on, and I get, 14 miles to a gallon when the thing's off. There you go. But again, I'm still going to say I'd like to see the third week. So do 1, 2, and then do a third week where you just plug your stupid car battery into your solar tower of powery thing. Okay, and don't bother putting it on the damn car. Yeah. And then let's do another fourth week where we do an electro brake, where we put a little generator, even tie it onto the wheel, like a bicycle generator. Actually put it on the wheel, all right, and actually see if running that generator is more efficient for recharging the battery than the alternator. And because all this, and test without using any appliances in the car, obviously. No radios, no air conditioning. Well, the air conditioner doesn't matter because that's a separate belt. It has its own compressor. It's not electrical. But yeah, no other electrical devices on in the car, of course.
As far as Auto CRC is concerned, our agreed program...
All right, this part you got to hear. You just got to hear this.
They're happy building cars the way they build cars. They look swoopy, but they're not aerodynamic. And a quarter to sometimes half their fuel burn goes on a never-ending failed effort to kiss and make up to the battery.
All right, a quarter to a half. Did you hear that? Are you saying a quarter to a half of the output of your car is going to recharge the battery? Preposterous. Insanely preposterous. We would bring back the old crank. Remember the Model A's or whatever with the crank? We'd bring back the crank if you were losing half the function of your car to the battery. And we'd put a little generator on to run your radio and your clock and your other crap. And we put put a lithium battery in the radio to keep the clock alive. This is idiotic. It's idiotic. If you're going to, a quarter to a half of your fuel burn is charging your battery. And I'm supposed to say you're credible, that's not an incredible statement, that's just not completely and insanely, preposterously an exaggeration. Alright, so now we'll just include his little crap at the end here. Okay, yeah, we'll just include this crap at the end.
Pour sand out of a boot with instructions on the heel will save fuel on their vehicle. And if somebody else wants to set up a factory of aftermarket retrofits later on, good luck to them. But mate, you're a very impractical dreamer when it comes to electromechanics and aerodynamics. You really are out of your depth. So pull your head in and take a fool's advice. Fit a sunfoil onto your car. Check.
Yeah, whatever. Fuck you. Yeah, right, I'm out of my depth, and you're the one claiming that 1/4 to 1/2 of your fuel burn is recharging your fucking battery. Fuck you, you fucking loopy loon. You did say fool, and that's what you are. You're just a fucking fool. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Okay, no comments here yet. Alright, I'll go find the other fucker. I mean, there's these comments. These fucking people. Man, they piss me off. Yeah. It really pissed me off. I have to go to my videos. Video manager or whatever. I can't find my own videos here. Anyway, more warbles there. There's more one. Yeah, I think that's the one. Alright. Load the comment. Yeah, this guy.
Reasonable idea.
Fucking shithead.
That we should find a better way to charge batteries.
This fucking shithead. Big Geneva, whatever he is. Alright. It depresses me too, Gary, seeing that you have become so much promise wasted. Unless you somehow manage to lower suffering in the world, that is, you haven't convinced more than a dozen people not to make more sentient creatures. Wow, more than a dozen? So if I have prevented one person from having a kid, that means I prevented a whole bunch of kids into the future, right? You do understand how replication works, right? Adam and Eve kind of scenario. Adam, there was one first human. Now there's 7 billion. So just preventing one can prevent 7 billion. So it's all win for me, I'd say, shithead. The ones already here face an abysmal future and are in denial about it. If they knew what the debt-riddled, post-cheap and abundant energy world is going to look like, they'd think twice. Well, they'd certainly think twice about having more people. Because, guess what? We have a lot of energy. We just don't have enough for 10 billion people. We don't have enough for 7 billion. We need to go down to like 4 billion. But anyway, their own survival is in doubt, and they are oblivious death deniers. Okay, fine. So you agree with me, and you're being an asshole. Fuck you, you fucking cunt. How many watt seconds are required to start a vehicle? How many are required to run an engine? Management and instruments. Well, those things are nothing, okay? Especially now with the computers and all this other shit. This is tiny, tiny, tiny amounts of wattage for electronics. The fan, for the ventilating system is probably the biggest watt user in a car, except for idiotic stereos, right? So if we don't count people have 200 or 300 watt stereos, your car does not need headlights. They're big users. How many watt seconds does 1 liter of fuel provide? A ton. Okay, 1 gallon of gas has a lot of fucking watts in it. I don't know how many, but it's a lot. As an engineer, I can clearly see the benefit of sunfoil. Well, as an engineer, I don't know, what do you engineer? Well, what? You cut out the little men out of your own poo or something? A little scissory thingy? What do you engineer, shithead? I don't buy you're an engineer. If there is a net gain in a system, drag being easily measurable and having... drag being easily measurable? No, drag is really complicated, shithead, because every mile you go, every increase in speed changes the aerodynamics. Okay, the very structure of it changes. Things vibrate differently at different speeds. And so drag is complicated because you can have a whole lot of drag at 20 miles an hour and no drag at 50 miles an hour. They found that out with like the supersonic airplane, It's incredibly inefficient, before it gets past the speed of sound. But once it got past the speed of sound, got to 1,000 miles an hour, really efficient. Butthead. Anyway. As an engineer, I can clearly see the benefit, easy measurable. Clearly, the case would be better made by 70 to 80 watt on car generation. Yeah, well, obviously, a better case could be made with like 200 or 300 watt or 500 watt. So 30 just isn't going to. 30 is not. It's just bullshit. I mean, it's any wattage is good, right? But I mean, the idea of putting it on your car. Well, there's no point in doing that when you're not getting 30 watts when it's flat on top of your car. And incidentally, if you really had a 30 watt bulb in your bike powered by an onboard generator, it was a variable wattage bulb, okay? The bulb was whatever it was. But the point is when I was going 30 miles an hour on the bicycle, there's no doubt that the bulb was burning at 30 watts. okay, because you could light the whole fucking street. It was a goddamn headlight. It's just that, yeah, there's, I wasn't going 30 miles an hour uphill, okay, on a bicycle. So, yeah, it only hit 30 watts when I was going downhill. But whatever, the point is fuck you. That's what the point is. If you really had a 30 watt powered by an onboard generator, you wouldn't be able to pedal it. So that's where you're just so full of shit. Alright, 30 watts is nothing. Okay, a human being can create 100 or 200 watts worth of power. And like I said, especially going down a hill with a, 50 to 40 pound bicycle. Yeah, they can generate the power, no problem. Do you have any idea how big and heavy a 30 watt dynamo would be? You don't have any brain at all, do you? I mean, a vacuum cleaner runs 700, 800, 900 watts. Alright? Its motor can weigh 15 ounces. Shithead. I mean, are you really this fucking stupid? I mean, obviously, a dynamo, you're talking, we're talking about alternators anyway, but, yeah, if you include something with permanent magnets, it get a little heavy. My little one, was small, but yeah, it weighed a few pounds. 3 pounds, something like that. Because, yeah, the magnets are heavy. But that's all it needs. It's how fast you spin it, shithead. Decides how much power comes out of it, jackass. I don't know whether you know that or not, but yeah, see, the faster you spin the motor, the more electricity it produces. Pedaling a 1 watt Krypton is hard going after a while. Your memory is faulty here. No, fuck you. There's nothing wrong with my memory. Go look it up. There's, like I said, especially, this is Australian stuff, okay? Go look at these guys. They'll tell you exactly how much energy they can produce pedaling a bicycle, and it's a lot. Car batteries not charge, well, I mean, it's a lot compared to 30 watts. 30 watts is not much. Car batteries not charge at anything like 1 kilowatt. I don't know what they're, I mean, the fact is, the alternator, I was using the fucking retarded Australian's figures, okay? He was claiming 1 horsepower of stolen energy from the engine, or 1.5, I even think he said. He says the belt kills half of that, or whatever. I don't think the belts are that inefficient, but I don't want to even argue that crap. But the point is, that was his claim, right? His claim was the horsepower. So what, horsepower is 750 watts. So, I mean, that's what he's claiming the alternator's pulling. Very dear me, man. Not knowing something sure doesn't stop you pontificating about it authoritatively, does it? Yeah, you don't even make videos, you shithead, and you're going to make these kind of rude, obnoxious comments. Fuck you. You're just so fucking blocked, you useless sack of shit. You're going to make all these comments, making these kind of claims, saying I'm not remembering right, or I got something wrong. No, I'm not wrong. Fuck you. You're wrong. Alright? 30 watts is pussy shit. This light bulb's the 30, well, it's whatever, 17 watts. That one fucking little crappy fluorescent bulb. 17 watts. You think I can't do that, shithead? You think that's going to save me gallons of fuel? No. No chance, shithead. Oh dear, Gazoo. This is painful. I dare you, of course, to delete these comments as per usual. You know, whatever. Fuck you. I've blocked you now. Adding regenerative braking, I presume that's what you're trying to articulate. Yeah, I'm articulating the rational equation that currently braking is all waste now. It's wasted energy. And that we might as well generate electricity when you're slowing your car down. Yeah, that would be smart. Because that's what this, apparently 30 watts of electricity will save you gallons and gallons of fuel. So if all I have to do is generate 30 watts of electricity, then yeah, I'll put a little 3 pound generator on the front wheel, and bingo. I've not only slowed my car down efficiently, yeah, I'll save gallons and gallons of fuel. Would be another gain in efficiency, just like topping up the system from solar is. Well, again, the solar is producing shit. Of course, a little planning would be great too. So if you're taking a 100-mile trip with no stops or gaps, could relate that to an intelligent charging system which might, sun dependent, decide to disconnect the alternator. Yeah, well, I don't know, so you're agreeing with me again. Disconnecting the alternator would be a good idea, but this is a tiny amount of electricity when you think about it that's making the difference. Yeah, again, I mean, a solar panel in the sun all day will run a car air conditioner for less than 5 minutes. Alright, utterly false. Car needs the boost right after starting the engine. No, it doesn't. It only needs the boost when it's lost 50% of its cranking amps. Okay, so you really don't have to boost it until it's at 50% of its cranking amps. So you can afford to let it lose 50% and then boost it. I will tell you, you're talking shit. As an engineer, again, you're saying you're an engineer. You're full of shit. What do you engineer? Paper bag escape plans? I know this. Let's see if you can handle being told you're wrong, flat out, objectively wrong. Well, fuck you. I don't know. 1342. I'm not going to look it up now, but fuck you. I'm not wrong. I am not understanding some of what you're... Okay, it's a different guy. And there's fucking Warbles. What the fuck? Devil's Advocate. I mean, he's making these, in his video he said one kind of stupid thing too. Talk to an auto electrician mate. He's talking to this guy. Let's see what this guy. An alternator only works when there are two energy sources, or perhaps an additional energy source is a better way of phrasing that. I suppose I should watch Warble's video. Well, I guess that would make sense. Whatever, it just doesn't matter. A full battery turns the alternator into a free turning tension pulley for the water pump drive belt. Yeah, no, well, that's not even true, okay? A full battery, it doesn't, even if you have a full battery, if you got a 200 watt stereo gone, your alternator's gonna switch on. It must have been a long time ago that Gary was, well, fuck you. No, I'm not gonna do it. Fuck you. But anyway, fuck you. Yeah, that's all I got to say to you. Fuck you. There's nothing I said in my video that's worthy of this bullshit. I made the simple critique that I think it's more efficient to have the solar panel, right? So I'm saying it's good solar energy to boost batteries. Good idea. And I'm just saying, yeah, you can do everything you need to do without installing it on the car. Duh. And like I said, the whole subject invites, I think, the more beneficial modification, which would be to take the alternator off the engine and put it on the drivetrain, where you could use it for its drag potential when needed. Yeah, it's just so much smarter. Durr. So fuck you. I think I'm done now. I think this should be it for me. So yeah, you're becoming incredible now, though. 25 to 50% of fuel burn recharging the battery. Bullshit.